So for this problem, we were given the second term, a2 is equal to negative 18, and the fifth term, a5 is equal to 2 over 3, and we were asked what the sixth term would be. So the first step would be to find the common ratio r. So to do this, we took 2/3 divided by the negative 18 to get 1 over 27 is equal to the common ratio r. Now that we have the common ratio, we go on to step 2, find the first term, and because we have the common ratio, we can now find it. We take the negative 18, which is the second term, and we divide that by our common ratio, 1 over negative 27, to get 486 is our first term. So for step 3, we're going to use the explicit formula to solve for the sixth term. So the explicit formula is an is equal to a1 times common ratio to the power of n minus 1. So we plug in all our numbers. A6 is equal to 486 times the common ratio 1 over 27 to the 6 minus 1 power, and then we get 0.00003387.
So for this problem, we're given this, and we're going to be using this formula right here. So step 1 is to find a sub 1, and to do that you need a sub n equals 2 to the nth minus 1, which we're solving for 1, so it's a sub 1 equals 2 to the 1 minus 1, which is 2 to the 0, and that anything to the power of 0 is equal to 1. So now we know that a sub n is equal to 1. And then with that value, we can plug it into the formula because we know that r is 2 based on our equation, and that n is 7 also based on the equation. So next we do s sub n equals a sub 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r, and when we plug in our values we would get 1 times 1 minus 2 to the 7th over 1 minus 2, and once we simplify we get s sub 7 equals 127.
So in this problem, you are given that you're trying to find the infinite sum. So you have it 6 times 1/3 to the power of n minus 1. And so you use the formula, the sum, an infinite sum is equal to a1 over 1 minus r. And so you know that a1 is equal to 6, r is equal to 1/3. And so you plug it into the formula and you do the sum is equal to 6 over 1 minus 1/3, which is equal to 6 over 2/3. And you just do 6 multiplied by the reciprocal of 2/3, so it's 6 over 1 times 3 over 2. And you cross these two out, so you have 3 times 3, which is equal to 9 over 1, is equal to 9.
We are told that 6 fans are purchased for $130,000 that depreciates 30% per year. So our first term is $130,000, and we know our common ratio is 0.7 because that's what's being multiplied each year. So for our formula, we can use a1 and r to find the formula. Since we know that the base formula is an equals a1 times r to the n minus 1, we plug in the first term and the common ratio to get an equals 130,000 times 0.7 to the n minus 1. And then for the second part of the problem, we are asked what the value of the cars or the vans will be after 5 years. So a5 equals 130,000 times 0.7 raised to the 5 minus 1, and 5 minus 1 is 4. So 130,000 times 0.7 to the 4th, which is equal to $31,213.